Hello, friends. Robert Bevan here, author of the Caverns Creatures series of comedy, fantasy novels, and short stories. With me is Sam West, and today we are going to break down we're going to rank all the lightning damage spells from worst to best. Got anything to say about lightning damage, Sam?
Storm Sorcery, Tempest of Bane, both these care very deeply about it. So if you're playing either of those classes, you'll want to pay attention because we're going to be talking about every single spell that could possibly apply to you if you don't take transmuted spells. So buckle
Now,
up.
did we take that into account when ranking these?
No.
No. All right, good. All right. Something to keep in mind.
Yep.
All right. Well, without further ado, let's get on with the list. All right, we are beginning with an old favorite, one that creeps up on these lists every time. Absorb elements.
Right back into S tier where it
Yep.
belongs. Commenting at
Yes.
home, this is for how powerful a spell is. Very little to do with the fact that it does lightning damage. It happens too when you take lightning damage, but you best believe
Okay.
the spell is bonkers.
Sam read the same comment I did. Yes, I was going to say the same thing. Absorb elements, great spell.
Yeah. Truly, truly fantastic. Less great
All right.
spell, but neat and not amazing.
Yes, call lightning. I went down this weird rabbit hole a long time ago, and I thought, oh my god, this is the best spell in the game, potentially. Very, very nichely, potentially. But even then, I was wrong. I don't know what I was thinking. But is call lightning.
So the biggest problem with this thing is you have to spend actions doing it, right?
Yeah.
Like if you could do it as a bonus action, I'd be pretty high on this. But the fact that you have to spend action after action after action just slamming down lightning bolts from the sky, I just don't want to do that a lot of the time, especially on Druid, which is the
Yeah.
class that gets this at its base level. Now you can get it through Tempest Domain Cleric, and on that you could maybe do this as like your concentration plus action if you really wanted to feel like the Wrath of the Storm, but I still would rather just hit things and use bonus action spells and cast instantaneous burst damage spells. Like I think there's better ways to get lightning damage than this. I think this is probably a D.
That's fair enough. Um, yeah, using your action does put a damper on things, but still, it's if you're running short on spells, this is it's got a decent duration. It gives you something to do.
Yeah, I think if you're in a game that is running you tight on spells, this can be a reasonable way to try and empower an action for 3 to 4 rounds. Could be a way to think about it. Because most of
Yeah.
the time, hitting this is going to be better than hitting something with a mace, but it's not going to be that much better than hitting something with a mace.
All right. Yes, call lightning. Next up is chain lightning.
This thing's way overcosted and deeply unsatisfying to play with.
A lot of people disagreed in the comments of the video we did, but I kind of agree with you.
Shitty lightning bolt. Like, it hits 4 things for 10d8 lightning damage, which means it's under damaged and overcosted. I don't get it. It's fine. It's a big chunk of damage for a high level spell slot. See?
What level is this?
It's a 6th level spell
Whew.
for 10d8 damage into 4 things.
What is lightning bolt itself doing at 10th level or 6th level?
At 6th level, lightning bolt is doing 10d6 damage. So this is technically 11d6 damage. Yeah, 11d6 damage. So I think this it's very close to the same amount of damage. Let me plug it into the calculator. 11d6 is doing an average of 39, and 10d8 is doing an average of 45. All right, this is a little chunk of damage up, but it's all it is for
And also, I mean, if your enemies aren't standing in a straight line, there's that.
Yeah, it only hits 4 things.
Yeah.
And it's just damage. It's nothing but just damage. It's 5 extra damage for a 6th level spell slot that it has a max target hit. I think C still seems fair to me.
Yeah, it does.
I'm unimpressed.
6th level, I want something more.
Yeah, if I'm spending a 6th level slot, I want damage, and I don't just want damage.
All right, next up, another frequent flyer here, Chaos Bolt.
Right back into D tier where it belongs. We could like have a little shell of just spells that are all the damage types. The reason Chaos Bolt is down here, it is usually worse than Chromatic Orb and has no guarantee as to what damage type it deals, and usually isn't bouncing. It promises a fantasy it can deliver on. I'd love to put it in F, but I'm sure not allowed to because it technically does something.
It does something, and yeah, and the different damage types in this edition just aren't. Yeah, they're ribbons more than anything. Very seldom do they matter,
Yes.
and that's. I mean, I guess this would be worse if they did matter because, like you said, they're not reliable.
Yeah, things I'd like to see from the next edition. Monsters with more vulnerabilities. Commenters down below. If you want to see that video, let us know in the comments. What do we want to see out of the 6th edition of Dungeons and Dragons that hasn't been announced? Or maybe has been announced and we just don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
Could be neat.
All right. As you just mentioned, chromatic orb.
C tier. It is a marginally better Chaos Bolt. Big issue with this thing, it can miss, and spending a spell slot on something that does fat nothing never feels great. I like saves way more than I like attack rolls for that reason. But this is technically a big chunk of damage for a first level spell slot. This will feel slightly better than making an attack roll at first level. Like a weapon attack, I mean. So.
And you get to choose the damage type, right?
Yep. So if you want this to do lightning damage, always it can. If you're a Storm Sorcerer or Tempest Domain Cleric, this is an easy and repeatable source of lightning damage at whatever spell level you want.
All right, and man, there are a lot of these. We've been seeing a lot. Dragon's Breath.
Yes. Whenever we first had this discussion, I was like, should we just talk about the lightning damage ones? You're like, no, we'll just cover all of them. And I said, oh, okay.
I'm glad we're doing that because these ranking videos have been popular.
That's great. Dragon's Breath also is one of the ones you pick the damage type. This time it is a 2nd level spell for functionally action-based burning hands. And where I'm much lower on Call Lightning, and it gives you a new action for a 3rd level slot, I am pretty high on Dragon's Breath because you have way fewer resources when you get it at 3rd level that I can actually see it having an impact on one of your 2 encounters for the day of being, this is my Dragon's Breath encounter. And then you just spray lightning with 3d6 damage over and over and over again for the duration of the encounter, and that being pretty good. Which is why I want to put this in B tier. I think it's a pretty solid little repeatable effect. The floor is still pretty low on just a 2nd level burning hands. Like if you drop concentration or you just don't want to use it again. But I think a lot of encounters in the lower tiers, or at least some encounters in the lower tiers, will majorly benefit from having a repeatable breath weapon attack.
Yeah, it's effective when you get it, and even a few levels after into the mid tiers. If you're running out of other spells, you want to play conservatively. This is not useless.
It's still cheap enough that you're like,
it's cheap.
I can get around out of this when I need it, right? And that is fine. That flexibility is important.
All right. Next up, Elemental Bane.
The always front runner in all of our F tiers is Elemental Bane.
All right.
Do you want to talk about why it's F tier?
I can't look at the spells because I have to run the screen here. So
sure.
Go ahead.
All right. Elemental Bane requires a thing make a save. If it passes the save, nothing happens. If it fails the save, every instance of damage of a specific type gets a bonus d6. So if you pick lightning damage, it does, when you hit it with a lightning bolt, it takes 9d6 lightning damage instead of 8d6 lightning damage. It also removes their resistance to the damage type. So if the thing was resistant to lightning damage, it would overcome that resistance. Now, fun fact, most things in this game aren't resistant to that damage type, or most damage types, in fact. And other fun fact, you need like 12 instances of damage for this to be worth the 4th level spell slot it's costing you. It is actually uncastable, complete trashy, unusable garbage. It goes on no character sheet, shouldn't have been printed into the game in this state. It's embarrassing that the spell exists.
A lot of this elemental stuff, like I get Elemental Bane, I get it confused with Elemental Adept, which is why I didn't want to go into it. But
equally bad?
Yeah, but not a spell.
Not a spell.
All right, hey, more elementals. We got Elemental Weapon.
D4 weapon damage with a +1 to hit. It's magic weapon with upside. I think I might be a little too harsh on this because the +1 to hit is very meaningful, but like it's a 3rd level slot, man. It's a tall order, and it like, I don't know, concentration for it as well makes it hard to self-cast with. It's clunky.
But it's not Elemental Bane.
It's not Elemental Bane. Is it a D? It's probably a D, right?
All right, run it by me one more time. This is, you said 4th level?
3rd level.
3rd
D4
level.
to hit on +1 to hit. D4 of the elemental damage choice you want on hit.
Yeah, that's not. And how long does it last?
Pulling it up. It lasts concentration an hour.
An
Action
hour.
setup time 2. I think if you are the ranger specifically, this isn't the worst thing on the planet because you're not expecting to take hits and you might be able to keep it up for 2 encounters. If you're the paladin artificer, I have a really hard time seeing this sticking around for more than a couple attacks, and at that point I'm just taking up smite, right? Like I'm
Yeah,
just
but
putting
I mean,
something
if
into
you're a
ground.
ranger, then you've got your hunter's mark to do essentially the same thing,
And favored foe.
cheaper, and what?
The new favored foe feature that they get in
Yeah.
Tasha's.
All right, if that's the best case scenario we've got, then yeah, D it is.
+1 hits, not nothing. I'm unimpressed.
No.
I think you could probably play with it and feel like it's pretty fine. So it gets it out of F tier, but I do think it is worse than C.
Yeah, if it's stacked on something like Hunter's Mark, then that would be something. But no, both concentration.
Oh, Glyph of Warding.
Glyph of Warding. Once again, how many damage types does Glyph of Warding do? It just does a bunch of ridiculous things, right?
Yeah, so explosive runes encompasses like 6 damage types: acid, cold, fire, lightning,
Oh,
and
that's what
thunder.
it is. Yes, yes, yes.
So it gets show up for all of these, and it's really bad in that instance, but it's really good in the instance of you storing a long duration concentration effect in this thing and then getting it for free.
Yeah.
So like this is kind of a game mechanic that you can cheese the system if you do the I prep it before a long rest, and then use the Glyph of Warding at the start of my next adventure to get a concentration effect. Now that's some hoops that I think a lot of tables aren't going to jump through, and I think an average table that isn't doing the cheesiness with it, it's quite bad. Given the
But, I
cheesiness
mean,
can be really good.
if you're ever in a scenario when it's usable for what it's supposed to be, like actual warding a place, then does it get any better?
No, it's unimpressive. It's 5d8 at lightning damage and 20 foot sphere.
Yeah, that's
My
what
third level
level is
slot.
that? Third
Third.
level? Yeah, that's not great.
Takes an hour to cast.
All right.
An
All right.
hour. This isn't like I'm in a dungeon, I'm going to scroll down on this floor tile over a minute, this Glyph. No, you need an hour. You need a short rest there for it to be able to be inscribed.
All right, so
I don't see it.
all right, so D for regular use, A for cheese, somewhere in the middle, C.
I'm going to give it a C. If you're
C.
cheesing
All
it,
right,
it's S. If you're not, it's probably D. Let's call it a C.
that sounds good.
Most use cases, not that great.
All right, another one we've been seeing a lot, Illusory Dragon.
You have 2 unique spells so far. Illusory Dragon, easy A tier. Love this thing.
What we've done, this has shown up in other videos. What are the different damage types this does?
Illusory Dragon, you have a concentration up to a minute, you get a big dragon, it does either acid, cold, fire, lightning, necrotic, or poison
All right,
damage. So
that's
it's
what it
6
is.
damage types
All right, so you can
on this
choose.
puppy. Yes. It is a
Okay.
repeatable 76 massive cone of that damage every single round as a bonus action for you. And this is just kind of like the top end fantasy of the bonus action damage effect, right? This is like taking Spiritual Weapon to its natural extreme, which is a giant freaking illusory dragon.
Yes.
And that's kind of awesome.
Sure is. All right, and we got 3 lightning spells in a row. Yay. First up, lightning arrow.
This thing sounds like it should be really, really, really cool, right?
Sure.
It isn't, though. So this is a bonus action to use. The next time you would make a ranged weapon attack during the spell's duration, the weapon's ammunition or the weapon itself, if it's a thrown weapon, transforms into a bolt of lightning. You make the attack roll as normal, but the target takes 48 lightning damage on hit and half as much on a miss instead of the weapon's normal damage. Which means you can't augment that damage with sharpshooter or anything like that. If you change the weapon attack's modifiers, they just vanish into thin air and are replaced by 48 lightning damage. As a ranger exclusive, the class that wants to be doing sharpshooter stuff, that's awful. Fun fact also, Divine Smite doesn't remove the damage type prior, and you use a 3rd level slot for a Divine Smite, you're getting 48 bonus damage? Yeah, 48 bonus damage on hit. In addition to the regular stuff that you get from hitting something with a greatsword or whatever.
Right. I mean, and this still uses your ammunition.
Yeah.
And your ammunition's like gone?
Gone. Well, yeah, I mean, it turned into lightning. Oh, no, JK, I'm sorry. The piece of ammunition or weapon then returns to its normal form. It does specify at the end.
Oh,
there's one other feature that you haven't mentioned. Each creature, whether you hit or miss within 10 feet of the target, makes a dex save. taking 2d8 on a failed save or has much of the success, so it's a small amount of AoE damage. It's kind of like a Ranger Divine Smite that costs you a spell slot to use. It has all the spell smite problems in that, like a bonus action cast, you have to concentrate on this, you can't concentrate on something else. It's clunky to use.
Yeah, I mean, I'd feel a little bit better if it just added lightning damage to your arrow.
Me too. I think this should say the hit deals a bonus 48 lightning damage and then explodes, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of where I would start with this.
I'd even sacrifice the arrow for that.
Yeah, me too. As is, I'm going to give this a D. I don't think most character sheets want this. I still think there'll be some rangers where you'll be like, oh, this is my AoE damage effect, and you'll wish you were a wizard sometimes. But I guess it's serviceable enough.
All right, lightning bolt, the big one.
This is a classic. This is getting S tier. I won't hear any slander. I know Fireball is strictly better, close to strictly better, but I love Lightning Bolt. It's a slime version of Fireball that outdamages most things of its tier and lower. So yeah, this gets S tier for me.
Yeah, big fat 3rd level damage spell. Is there? I mean, I know like lightning or Fireball covers a big area, and this just does a line.
100-foot line.
All right, so depending on how your enemies are organized, you might be able to get more of them with this occasionally.
Once in a campaign, maybe.
Yes.
If they're running down a 5-foot wide corridor, maybe.
That's not completely unheard of.
Correct. That's why a once a campaign is what I said.
Yeah.
Will there be more than 4 or more than 8 of them, right? Because 5 or more than 4 of them. Will there be more than 4 of them is an important factor there, because Fireball radius will hit the same number.
All right. Well, yeah, it's lightning bolt. What else you got to say?
Chunk of damage. I love it. It's great.
Yeah. On the other hand, lightning lore.
Oh, this is a worse version and like a way worse version of Thorn Whip. It does a D8 damage, but only has a range of 15 feet for some reason. So like, you pick something within 15 feet of you, it makes a strength save or is pulled 10 feet towards you and takes a D8 damage. If it ends the turn within 5 feet of you. Which is weirdly worded. I hate this spell.
Yeah,
I hate what they did to our boy.
It says up to 10 feet, right?
The target must make a strength save or be pulled up to 10 feet in a straight line towards you.
All right, because that's what confused me before. Because, I mean, if it's got a 15-foot range and you pull it 10 feet, it's going to be within 5 feet of you.
Yeah, but if you only pull it 5 feet, it won't take any damage.
Yeah, so I don't know why anyone's doing that.
I don't either, Bob. This spell seems terrible to me.
Yeah, what level is this?
It's a cantrip.
Cantrip, it's got that going for it, but I mean, everybody on this channel knows how I value force movement, but it's almost exclusively away from me.
This isn't even
if I'm dealing
towards you.
Yeah, but especially if I'm using cantrips, I don't want anything coming closer to me.
I think we're going to continue padding out the tier comfortably. I don't think this is a spell almost any character needs nor wants, especially with Thornwhip being on the table. Maybe you need it on Sorcerer, Warlock, Wizard instead, and you can make that 15-foot work. But like it really seems prohibitive to me.
A sorcerer could extend it and never get the bonus damage.
They sure couldn't because its range is self.
No. Oh, shucks.
Yeah.
All right. Well, a paladin could use their fine steed, and their horse could shoot lightning lures out.
Whee! Color me unimpressed.
Where are we putting this?
You're right, F tier.
Yeah. Oh man, because of the fine steed.
Fine. So like, it's not uncastable. It's just worse than the majority of damaging cantrips, right? Like I will take a raw damaging cantrip like Firebolt over this, right? So that's D tier.
All right, so D, because I mean, remind me, does it do damage upon hit, or do you need to pull them into 5 feet?
It has to be within 5 feet of you after pull for any damage to occur.
To do any damage.
To do any damage, it has to end within 5 feet of you.
Man, that's tough.
Yeah.
But it's all right. I'll give it this. If you do need to pull somebody somewhere, this is a cantrip, and you can do it.
Yeah.
I'm
I
putting
think
it
I
in
would
B.
rate Thorn with like a B or a C, so I think this
Yeah.
getting a D seems fair.
Yeah.
As a worse
It's,
version of that cantrip.
well, it certainly is.
Yeah, I don't care about the half a point of damage that I'm losing out on for or the 1 point of damage I'm losing out on for what I actually care about, which is the pool.
All right. Prismatic spray.
I hate the spell too. I then mean to it, but I hate the spell. This is the one where you roll randomly to get a random effect. 5 of the outcomes are damage. 1 of the outcomes is roll twice, so you get double damage. The other 2 effects are restrains or blinds.
All right, so
It's
this
a
is
60-foot cone, so it is kind of enormous for a 7th level slot.
upper tier chaos bolt.
Yeah. As the D&D is hitting a gigantic area.
What level is this?
7. Yeah, I was about to bump it up in my rating, and I recognized that it was a 7th level slot.
And how
So,
much
like, you
damage are we
have to
doing?
get an 8 for this to be good. And if you
How
don't
much
get an
damage?
8, it is quite bad. It's 10d6. It does regular 5th level fireball damage. So it's 2d6 under upcast fireball and lightning bolt.
All right, so yeah, the only thing it's got going for it then is that potential for an 8, which is not something I want to count on when I'm casting a 7th level spell, or a choice of damage type.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Which,
level with you.
wait, not even wait, is it random?
It's a random damage type.
All right,
1 to
so no.
5. Like,
All right,
I
unreliable
don't
there as
think
well.
I don't think an average character that puts on their sheet will use it enough times to have a likely chance of hitting an 8. Right? You can cast this 8-ish times to guarantee rolling at least an 8. I don't see that happening as a 7th level spell when there's competition for it and the game is coming to an end. I don't think most tables, even ones that play with this, will see the duplicated effect. I want to put this in F tier, but it does something, so it goes in D tier.
That's something. All right, now prismatic wall.
This is why I have been overly harsh too. It probably doesn't deserve F tier. Probably deserves D tier.
Were you thinking F? I mean,
That's where I've been putting it.
have you?
I think so. It's a
I'm
giant
sure.
wall that's got.
I don't love it, but I'm sure I must have talked you out of it every time. Because I mean, this does something.
It's a
Not
wall.
much.
That's a 9th
Yeah.
level spell that you have to work through so many hoops to push things into. Last time
I
we
don't
talked
know.
about
You
this
have
in
to work
acid
through so
damage,
many hoops.
you were like, I don't love the book of how you break through this, so it can go in F tier. That's fine. I believe is how that conversation ended.
I mean, I don't like that at all. I think it's stupid.
Yeah.
But not enough to give it F. I mean, you can set it up, and at worst case scenario, it's a wall. It'll keep things from going through it for 10 minutes, and you can.
What level spell is that, Bob? That's Wall of Stone, right? That's Wall of Force. That's Wall of Fire. That's Wall of some other
But
things.
you set this up so that you can throw people through it.
I stand by. I don't want to have to work for my 9th level spell slots to do anything whenever True Polymorph, Wish, Meteor Swarm, Time Stop are all on the table. Whenever you've got dealer's choice of some of the best 9th level spells in the game, as this is a wizard exclusive, you best believe I'm not picking Prismatic Wall.
Yeah, I'm not either. But I think this passes the bar of doing something.
Fine. It goes in D tier then.
Yeah.
It is one of the worst 9th level spells in the game. It's not weird. That one does get an F, but it is still pretty terrible.
What kind of damage does weird do? I want to do that damage next.
Don't. Okay. I don't remember off the top of my head. Psychic, I think.
All right. Yeah, I could stand to talk about weird again. It's been too long.
We're finally out of D tier with Shocking Grasp.
Oh, good. Yes, Shocking Grasp.
This thing is not great.
I have been. Can't be too far out of D tier.
I think it's C. Oh, you're right. Wait, hold on. We put Lightning Lore in. Oh, shit. So, okay, here's what I will say. There is 2 genuine boons with this. I underrated the advantage on armored targets. That can come up even in the low tiers.
Yeah.
And I also think there will be non-zero situations where you will quicken this as a means of disengaging. Its floor is a D8 lightning damage that requires touch or a familiar delivery system. All of that paints together to be an effect that isn't good. It's not good damage. It's not good range. It's not a great effect, and it's not gonna hit many things super effectively. But all of those things together will come up time, like just enough where I'm like, yeah, it's a C. It's fine. Especially on a handful of characters that can mess around with familiar stuff, or a handful of characters care about lightning damage, or the handful of characters that care about some other element of the spell.
All right. Yeah. The familiar thing just barely squeaks into a C for me.
It's really close.
Yeah. But yeah, if you've got a flying familiar, this is essentially a ranged spell.
Yeah, just risking your life of your pet for it.
Yeah, but 5e pets, that doesn't matter.
True. It really is like everything in this game just comes back with snap of your fingers.
All right, next up, Storm of Vengeance.
I'm so glad we get to keep talking about this spell.
What?
This is the most underwhelming 9th level spell in the game. It's weird is supposed to be weird. Okay, this is the second most underwhelming 9th level spell in the game. Just because it promises like this awesome, I'm gonna create a hurricane, I'm gonna decimate the land. And then you like do less damage without a burning hands. And you're like, don't worry, next run I will have done the damage of a burning hands.
All right. Now on our acid damage video, we did get a comment that I just read, and we were told we're thinking about it wrong. Storm of Vengeance is for the not for every encounter, but for those few encounters per campaign when you're facing a huge army. In which case, it does a little bit of damage spread over an enormous area to a multitude of targets.
No. I'm gonna still pass on that. I'm gonna rain 3 meteors from the sky on the army instead. Thank you very much. I guess this is a druid spell, but in that instance, I would rather animal shapes the peasants into giant scorpions and go fight my army of giant scorpions against the army of orcs, right? Like, in the instance against a giant army, I have Earthquake. I have other mass area destruction spells that also do other cheesy nonsense, right? I don't even see a large, huge campaign, once in a campaign event happening with armies all that often. This is still only a minute, so like, in that minute, you're going to do a decent chunk of damage to some stuff, and then you still have the other hour-long siege plus of the fight to go through. So you can just like add up all this damage and be like, I spent my 9th level spell slot on 60, or let's see, 5d6 plus 2d6 plus 1d6 is 8d6 stamp. No, the numbers don't check out.
I'm with you. I'm prepared to go as low as F for this one, just because
Me too.
It's a 9th level spell, and you're not getting 9th level effects from it.
Yeah,
and not anywhere close.
I think even in the one of tables per the ones of tables that have the army encounters per session or per like in the realm of existence, I still don't even think this is that good there.
No. Commenter, I just want you to let you know we heard you. We do read these. All right. Not to be confused with Storm Sphere.
I want to like this thing. This is a 4th level spell that makes a 20-foot radius whirling air vortex that each creature in the area makes a strength save or takes bludgeoning damage, 2d6 bludgeoning damage. It's difficult terrain. And then as a bonus action, you can shock things for 46 lightning damage if they're within 60 feet of the center of it, which is kind of cool. It's like a 4th level area damage over time effect that you also get just like lightning bolts coming out of it. I like all of those words.
These are bonus action lightning bolts.
Yeah.
That's a big step up from Call Lightning.
Yeah. Now, granted, they only hit one target, but
yeah, but I like casting lightning bolts willy-nilly over time.
Yeah, this definitely feels to be like the fixed version of Call Lightning in a lot of ways. I definitely want to be a storm sorcerer that like sets this thing down and is throwing lightning bolts off that and then actually casting lightning bolt with my action over and over again, just to be like mass lightning destruction, everyone dies kind of stuff. I'm gonna give this a B. I think this is a reasonable, powerful little 4th level effect. It's not warping the game by any stretch. It just does a lot of cool things well.
Well, good, because we need a B. We are heavily weighted to our crap spells here. And we've only got 2 more left. One of them's not getting any high ratings, but the other one is Summon Draconic Spirit.
S tier, baby. This smells gross. From Prismatic Dragons, it's one of the summon spells, but like with the dragon that breathes lightning. That's awesome. You can breathe fire or cold or whatever else, and it gets multi-attack with its rend. Yeah, this thing's amazing. Super worth your concentrations. Great on all the character classes that get it. You're happy to spend your concentration on this. You're happy to spend 6 level slots on this. You might even be happy to spend 8 level slots on this. Yeah, I'm all in for Summon Draconic Spirit.
What do you get for upcasting it?
More attacks and more hit points and more AC.
Yeah, those are all good reasons.
Those are all great reasons.
Last for an hour. Yeah, you do some damage with that.
Oh yeah, you can ride it too because it's large, I think.
Oh yeah, that's true. All right. And finally, we have Witch Bolt.
Easy F tier.
Sorry, Witch Bolt.
Bad. This is casting a cantrip with a 1st level spell slot, and then getting the ability to auto hit with that cantrip if you meet 12 million criteria. Yeah, that's
all right. What ends the spell?
If you move out of range of it, if you full cover is brought between you and it, if the user chooses an action that isn't it, if the user breaks concentration, all of that ends the spell effect.
That's so like the user uses an action, like any action, like or like, is it also movement? Can you not move?
You can move, but remember, if you move outside of 30 feet of the target, the spell ends.
But all right, well, yeah, because he's going to be trying to take cover because that ends the spell.
So you can be chasing after him.
Yes.
No, he's not going to be trying to take cover, Bob. He's going to be like, oh, thank God I'm being witch bolted and not having a real spell cast at me, and then fight you. Break your concentration via Great Axe.
All right. Yeah, Witch Bolt. And like you say every time, it's just not fun to use.
No, it feels terrible to use. The Emperor Palpatine spell should be cooler than this. Shame on you, Wizards of the Coast. Shame on you.
Yeah, that's I guess that's what it's supposed to be, but that should be not a 1st level spell, and it should be cooler.
And they somehow screwed it up later down the road when with the ignition spell too, conflagration or whatever it is. Oh well.
What was that? Innervation?
Yeah, maybe. Innervation is the vampiric touch meets this thing.
No,
and
all right. Yeah.
Pun intended.
All right. Well, those were our picks. Yeah. What do you think of what do you think about the chart here?
Wow, poor. A lot of these spells are just like if we look at Chaos Bolt, Elemental Weapon, Prismatic Sprays, Prismatic Wall, those are just like the regular offenders. If we like crop out the consistently, repeatedly talking about ones, Lightning does have a decent spread. Lightning Bolt,
that's true.
Lightning Bolt being an S tier with Storm Surge being a B tier. We got Call Lightning as a C tier with Shocking Grasp, and we even got some trash with Witch Bolt and Storm of Vengeance. Like there are some unique effects across the board here. I think the moral of a lot of these stories is we need more spells that do a unique damage type and less spells that do all of them. But I guess that also would ask us to have more monsters that care about damage types. We just don't have a lot of those. I don't see any of these that I would move up. Do you have any of these that you have an issue with positioning?
No, I think we did a pretty good job this time.
Solid.
What do you think, commenters? Which one of these would you move around? What do we rate too highly? What do we rate too poorly? Let us know your thoughts.
Are there real Storm of Vengeance encounters that happen every campaign? Let me know.
Yes, I'm sure they will. All right, those were our lightning damage spell ranking picks. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, viewers at home, for watching. Yes, leave some comments below and like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.